everyone. Welcome to this festive tech calendar well-being session where we're going to do a little bit of festive yoga. My name's Amy Boyd. I'm a cloud advocate at Microsoft, and I'm really lucky to be joined by Anna Fia. Anna, could you introduce yourself?
Hello everybody, I'm Anna and I'm the developer audience lead in the UK, and first disclaimer of the session, I am not an actual yoga instructor.
Fantastic. Yeah, speaking of disclaimers, we have a small health advisory. We're doing this for a little bit of fun and to stretch ourselves out, but yeah, let's take a look at that. Okay, so what we want to do is we were thinking we're always sitting at home in front of our laptops doing lots of conference calls and events. And one of the things is we're just sitting down a lot. And so what we want to do is we want you to get on your feet, follow along and kind of stretch out to make yourself feel really good and ready to do some more work. So Anna, what are we going to do in the session? Can you give a quick summary?
Yes, okay, so we're going to start with a little bit of breathing, just to try and get everybody relaxed and making sure you have a nice neutral spine and your shoulders are relaxed and everyone can feel calm going into this session. We're then going to work through 4 very simple stretches that you can do. You could do them sat at your desk, but as Amy said, it would be really nice to kind of get up and stand up and just relax out a little bit and get away from the desks for a little while. And then finally, we just need to do a little bit of whatever feels right. People can stretch, people can not stretch, people can yawn if you want to, whatever you want. So when you're ready, Amy, I can start walking you through one of your first ever tech festive yoga sessions.
This is fantastic. Okay, cool. I'm going to step away from my laptop here in a very awkward position that I'm standing, and we are going to go ahead and feel free to follow along. Feel free to pause the video, reuse it afterwards. This is all just for you to be able to quickly stretch out so we can all get back to work creating amazing things. So yeah, Anna, take it away.
Awesome, cool. So, Amy, as you're standing there, I want to make sure that you can't actually see my legs here, but you've got your nice neutral hips and you've got your feet about hip width apart. I don't want you to start with just rolling your shoulders back, so you've got a nice neutral spine, if you see from the side here, and not hunched forward or arching back. And then as we're standing with our hips width apart, we're just going to breathe in and out for a little. We're going to go in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 2, and then out for a count of 4. And we're going to do that 4 times. So if you breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop and hold, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, in, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop and hold, 2, out for 4, 2, 3, 4, 2 more, in for 4, 2, 3, stop and hold, out for 4, in for 4, stop and hold, out for 4. And hopefully now you should just be feeling a little bit more centered. Hopefully your spine is feeling nice and relaxed and no one's feeling out of puff. And what we're going to start is just focusing on our necks. So we're going to do a very simple yes and no movement. And we're going to do each one twice. So we're going to start with basically nodding our heads to say yes. So what we're going to do is bring your head down to your chin. And again, keeping a nice neutral spine. You don't want to be hunching over. And we're just going to hold our necks down here for a count of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I want you to look up to the ceiling, and do be careful of your backs and necks here. Try and look up as high as you can without arching your back. Keep a nice flat back. But again, if you have a sore back, don't go back too far at all. And just count for 10 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly back down with your chin to chest. Hold for 10. And back up to the ceiling, looking up. Be careful not to go back too far. Fabulous. And bring your head back to the center. Now we're going to shake our heads like we were saying no, so we're going to do exactly the same thing, to the left, to the right, and holding for a count of 10. So if you start looking over your left shoulder, and again, keeping a neutral spine, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gently move your head round to your right, over your right shoulder. And back over to your left shoulder, nice and slowly. And finally back over to your right shoulder. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. Now bring your head back to neutral, and we did a gentle one of these at the beginning just to get your spine in a central location, but we're just going to do some shoulder rolls. So before you start doing these, I'm going to turn my back to you for a second, and if you can see it, you really want to try and bring your shoulder blades together at the back. Really think about bringing them in as far as you can so you get full range of mobility. So we're going to do 4 backwards, and then we're going to do 4 forwards. So Amy, if you want to follow along, we'll start with going backwards first. So shrug your shoulders all the way up. Pinch your shoulder blades together at the back, bring them forward and back to neutral. And then we're going to shrug up again, pinch your shoulders at the back, bring everything back to neutral, and then we go back into a shrug, pinch your shoulder blades at the back, back down into neutral, and the last one going forwards, shrug up, shoulder blades together, and back to neutral. And now we're basically going to do the exact same thing in reverse. So now you pinch your shoulder blades together first, come up into a shrug, and then back down. Same again. And you can start bringing your arms out if that feels better for you. So if your shoulders are quite tight, might help with mobility slightly. Just pinch your shoulder blades together, back into a shrug, and to neutral. And the last one, shoulder blades together, shrug, and back to neutral. Oh, I always feel good about that. Okay, so now our final stretch that we're going to go into is just going up and over. So depending on where you are, if you're sat at your desk, you can just put your arms above your head. If I take a step back, you can see my hands. And you just want to interlace your fingers together, and then you can lean from one side to the other. If you are standing up, you can go a little bit further with this, and you can put your hands together above your head, release your index fingers, and then you can really bring your hips into this stretch and lean your hips to the left and to the right as we're going through. So I'm going to do the slightly gentler version, but if you feel quite supple, then you can try and bring your hips into it as well. So just extend your hands above your head, interlace your fingers above your head, and then we're going to lean over to the left, and we're going to hold it for a count of 10. Again, try not to arch your back whilst you're doing this. You want to keep your back nice and flat. So we're going to hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In one movement, come up into neutral and over to your right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back up and over. Try and keep your arms in line with your ears so you're not pulling your spine forward or back. And then we're going to come up and finally back over to your right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fabulous. Just release your arms down and then you can do whatever feels right. You could walk your legs up and down a little bit, just get some blood movement there because we're focused a lot on the top of the spine. You could start thinking about doing some twists if you wanted to at all, so just very simply moving around from one side to another. Try and release some of those vertebrae a little bit. And there's a few more intense things you could do if you were sat on the floor and kind of using your arms to pull you around a little bit. But that's basically it, Amy. That's a little 101 of doing some desk stretches. We could try and go into something a bit more fancy, but it might be dangerous with Christmas trees so close to us.
That's fantastic. I was going to say now, so it is quite early here as we're recording this. This is the start of our day. It has made me feel, much more kind of loose and ready. Even just the breathing at the start, right, just settles you down, ready for a work day. So thank you so much, Anna. It's been an absolute pleasure to take us through that. For everyone who's watching at home, please do use these kinds of stretches. As I said, it could really help as we're all sitting in front of our laptops a lot. Thank you to Gregor and Richard for having us as part of the Festive Tech Calendar, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, guys.